Crypto Renegade here for you. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the 4 new coins that Robinhood just listed today. We're going to take a look at the prices, we're going to take a look at the charts, and ultimately whether or not you should buy these right now, and it's going to become very clear by the end of the video. Stay tuned, you do not want to miss this one. Alright guys, welcome back. Right before I jump into the content, just want to give a shout out to my website, Cryptorenegade.live. I'm doing a podcast where it also is in conjunction with the case study that I'm doing right now, where I demonstrate how to turn $100 into $1,000 with trading crypto. Sign up here for free. Case study comes free with the podcast. Just wanted to give a shout out there. That's Cryptorenegade.live if you're interested in learning the fundamentals and following my trades and joining my Discord group. Now, before we jump into the actual coins, taking a look at CoinGecko, as you can see, Shiba Inu, which is one of the coins we're about to discuss, is up over 18% in the last 24 hours. Again, sorting it just by these. There's no other coins that were announced that are on this list, but I wanted to sort of put this into perspective because I'm about to answer something that is going to make this very clear in just a moment. But first, I wanted to point out something in their press release that most people failed to acknowledge, which basically is a huge red flag, at least for me. Depending on if you prefer buying crypto directly from exchanges or if you want to buy it on Robinhood, which is a custodial solution, there's one thing that they kind of bury deep in here that you want to be very, very aware of. So let's read the first part of this just to make this abundantly clear, and then we'll take a look at the charts, and I'm going to kind of give my analysis of where we're at in the market and whether or not today, based on this announcement, is when you should buy or if you should buy any of these coins. So of course they started out with, we're pleased to announce that customers can buy and sell 4 additional currencies on Robinhood: Comp, MATIC, Solana, and Shiba Inu. For the past year, our crypto customers have consistently asked for 2 things: the ability to send and receive tokens and a broader selection of cryptocurrencies. Addressing their first ask, we rolled out wallets to every eligible person on the wait list of more than 2 million. So they are taking a step in the right direction where you can actually withdraw or own your private keys. Now we're happy to address another top request by adding additional cryptos. Quote, we're excited to see more choices for our customers as we make Robinhood the best place to invest in crypto, said Steve Quirk. As a safety-first company, we have a rigorous framework in place to help us evaluate assets for listing, and we remain committed to providing a safe and educational crypto platform. These assets are available to buy and sell now on the Robinhood app. This is the part that they left out. Deposit and withdrawal won't be immediately available for these assets, but that capability is coming soon. And again, Compound, MATIC, Shiba Inu, and Solana. You can buy these things or trade these things on Robinhood, but you will not have the ability for who knows how long to actually withdraw into your own wallet, store it, stake it, do anything with it where you can earn yield on these investable assets. They simply are held in the Robinhood app. I did a short, YouTube short or a TikTok on this earlier, I think last week, where I was explaining to people that if your money is on Coinbase or Robinhood or any other centralized custodian platform, they control the private keys, not you. So unless your intention is to buy this simply to trade it to make money and get in and out, then I guess that's okay. But if you're trying to hold these for the long term, do not use Robinhood, do not use Coinbase. Find a different exchange where you can actually have the ability to withdraw your crypto onto your own private wallet, hardware wallet, whatever. That way you control your own private keys, but I digress. Let's jump into the charts. We're going to take a look at all 4 of these, starting with Comp, and see basically what's going on with the price action based on this news, and if there's any available trade setups and any way to make money either in the short, medium, or long term. So let's take a look. Okay, so we're starting with Compound right here. As you can see, I sort of framed this out with basic bottom line support at $100 here. We have all-time high of roughly $900 up here on Compound, and I drew a line here. This is a descending trend line which finally broke and sort of went sideways here back in mid-March. And the one thing I wanted to point out down here is there was a massive volume spike that happened here. This was presumably Robinhood buying it before the announcement so that they could have enough liquidity on their exchange for you, the user, to buy. So this particular spike in purchasing, which apparently came from Binance, did happen. So this was obviously several days before they planned this announcement. Now it is consolidating between support and resistance in these areas, and there is a green candle today on compound, obviously as a result of this Robinhood announcement. But until it breaks out of this range, in other words, until it breaks out of this sort of resistance area of 184 to 185, and it shows sort of ongoing momentum to the upside as opposed to just chopping in between the support and resistance, there's really no edge to buy this right now unless you're planning to hold it on the long term. When you actually take a look at the history here, this is major support, or essentially the bottom of where this range has been since it's all-time high and its all-time low since it hit exchanges. So if this is something that you believe in long-term fundamentally, it's not necessarily a bad thing to buy now as long as you're holding it for multi-month or multi-year. But if you're trying to trade something in the short to medium term, this is not something that I would personally buy until there's conviction and strength above this resistance line, because it's going to chop around here, and I'm going to explain why when we get to another chart in a minute. But ultimately, right now is not exactly the most opportune moment to buy if you're just trying to trade this based on the news that they just gave you. So again, huge volume spike. That was definitely from them buying. But again, price action here isn't trending up. There's no other fundamental value or news according to this. It's simply just been kind of grinding down for months and months and months. All depends on what's going on in the news, but there's no releases or there's no other news that's causing this to go up other than obviously the announcement from Robinhood. Next up. Okay, so we're taking a look at MATIC now. This is Polygon, layer 2 sidechain. Basically what's going on here is I framed a basic sort of, we'll call it a support area that's been established or arranged since September of last year. And it's just sort of just been declining. This is a descending wedge or a descending triangle as far as technical analysis. I wanted to point out that it is down over 53% from its all-time high of just under $3, and it's honestly just been super volatile and very choppy. Now, if it does continue to hold this support area where it's currently at, which is roughly at $1.30, and it continues to go sideways and or break out of this area here and it starts moving up, then you have a potential for a trade setup. But again, this thing looks really bearish on a technical basis. Yes, it did have a green candle based on this news, but in all reality, there's no momentum or no conviction on this market moving in the right direction, at least not yet. It would have to break this descending trend line, and it would have to show momentum to the upside while maintaining the bottom level of support. So again, you can see that the volume here is very, very low. It's basically nothing, whereas back here, the volume was extremely high when it was most volatile. So a mixture of no volume, a mixture of being over 50% off the all-time high. It is still holding support, so this may play out over the next couple of days to couple of weeks to start reversing and moving up. It's becoming increasingly irrelevant as the narrative now is that ETH 2.0 is coming in Q2. So that's its real value proposition right now, is it helps reduce gas fees and it helps reduce speed of the Ethereum network. Once ETH2 comes around, who knows what Polygon will do. Hopefully there will be a reversal, but as of right now, I can't see any immediate trade setup where a good risk to reward, but I would have to wait for it to break this sort of descending trend line that it's established here. And then you have a range where you could possibly trade it and make some money in the short to medium term. But again, I would wait to make sure that it continues to either A, hold support, or B, break out of this to the upside, or both. Honestly, this is not on a technical chart looking very good or very tradable at the moment, even though it did have a green spike based on this news. So let's move on to the next one here. Shiba Inu. Okay, so this chart looks very similar to Doge, by the way, where it's just sort of nothing, 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 and then it makes its first leg up, it consolidates, and then it does another leg up, and of course it goes parabolic and then the full sell-off. As you can see in the price action, that's really honestly what happened. Now, just to put this into perspective, out of the four charts, this one actually does look the most compelling, even though I don't personally like meme coins. But looking at the chart as far as making money and as far as being able to be traded, this one actually is, just so we're clear, is down currently 70% from the all-time high. It's just slowly been grinding away, but it's been holding the support of around 2,000 Satoshis. And it just had a pop up. It had a wick above this trend line. Now, the day isn't over on this candle, so we don't know if it's going to continue to coil up inside this triangle. It's getting pretty damn close to the end. But if we can break up and start momentum, if it can actually go through and break sort of not only this descending trend line, but break this horizontal trend line, which is around 3,500 Satoshis, then you may have a reversal before it goes back up to the all-time high. But what you have over here in this range are a lot of bag holders, a lot of people that are simply holding onto it, waiting for it to go back up and then sell it and drop it on the market again. So there is a lot of selling pressure that's up here. I personally don't like trading meme coins because there are a lot of people that are just in it to get rich quick. There's no really fundamental or underlying value. They're trying to create new ways for this to go into the metaverse, creating NFTs and so on. So they're trying to find ways to make this valuable. But as of right now, meme coins are as valuable as the people that are trading them or using them. There's no actual real utility in my opinion, but that's just my opinion here. I mean, I'm willing to make money on anything, whether I like it or agree with it or not. That doesn't matter. I'm here to make money, but there is still no edge to trade here unless it can, with momentum, break out of this not only descending trend line, but maintaining support and starts moving to the upside. Honestly, I wouldn't even entertain a trade setup here until it broke around 3,500 Satoshis, unless you had some really tight stops here, because this is a very, very liquid market. I mean, look at this volume candle right here. This is just today, as we just saw on CoinGecko. This is the largest volume that we're seeing, over $240 billion of volume. Out of all four of those coins, Shiba Inu appears to be the most wanted as far as demand goes. It's actually kind of insane, but the market wants what the market wants. So this is how supply and demand works. Personally, this isn't something that I'm looking to trade, but as far as out of all four of these, I would wait for it to break above this and see if it can maintain momentum and see a reversal. We'll have to see on this. That's Shiba Inu. And then finally, let's take a look at Solana. Okay, so there's a lot of things going on with Solana. I tried to frame this in a way where hopefully it makes sense. And if you know any sort of basic TA, this is what's known as a descending wedge or a descending triangle. This is a major support area. It was resistance at one point. Now it's support. This is roughly the $70 to $80 range down here. And it had a nice little rally. And it broke out of this sort of resistance of around 120. And this is what I call a fake out breakout, where it broke out here and then it went all the way up, hit this sort of descending trend line here, and then now it's going all the way back down. I would have to wait to see how this plays out. This is an inherently bearish pattern, but I would have to see, again, a break of the descending trend line to show momentum or at least consolidation sideways before it makes a move all the way to the upside. But right now, in this sort of mid-range in this triangle, there's really no edge to buy. I mean, it could go all the way back down to $80, after this news event, which could be a pump and dump based on the Robinhood listing. I mean, fundamentally, it could be argued that this is good or bad or indifferent. I'm not going to get into that in this video. I have another video, which I'll link above, about how centralized Solana is, but it does solve a speed problem. And it does have some interesting technology, but it being centralized personally is a turnoff for me. As far as trading, I don't care about what the fundamentals are. I just see if there's a narrative or a way or price action for me to make money. But right now, this is mid-range. It has just an equal chance of going down and retesting support again as it does hitting the resistance and breaking out. So as we saw here, it had a nice little rally. It broke through this local resistance area of 120. But it faked out. This is what we call a tweezer top, where it goes right up and right back down, kind of like a reverse V. But this is just still volatile in a range, and until it can be framed in a way where it's showing that it's moving back to the upside with run, retracement, run, in a consistent pattern, honestly, there's nothing to do. Not only that, as you can see, the volume isn't that exciting as it was perhaps back here, but all of these factors considered, I do want to show you how high off of the all-time high this really is. Check this out. So as you can see, Solana is 60% off of the all-time high. And if you go all the way down to the support level that we're talking about here, where it was a few weeks ago, that's 70% off of the all-time high. So unless we get some real momentum back into an alt season or a bull season, this is a larger cap coin. I do hope that there's a lot of demand and there's a lot of volume on Robinhood, but this news event isn't quite changing the game in my opinion. As far as these 4 coins, they honestly, the one thing that most people don't talk about is all of these alts are in some ways correlated to Bitcoin. So let me just do a quick recap on what Bitcoin's doing, because whatever Bitcoin does, it tends to waterfall into altcoins. So let's take a quick look. So as we can see, Bitcoin, just as a quick recap, it has a massive multi-year support level of $30,000. Obviously has an all-time high of just short of $70,000, and we're still mid-range. We're 42.5% off of the all-time high currently. In this sort of mid-range here, this line right here is 45K, which is sort of the magnet or middle area. It's been forming an ascending wedge, and then it finally broke out back here and then faded off and sold off. So this, again, another fake out breakout, but if you take a look here, it actually broke with volume and a huge red candle here. It actually broke this trend line here that's supposed to be, if it's intact, of course, make higher highs and higher lows, and then builds up momentum and steam to go to push the next leg up. But so far it's broken through this. If you really kind of just zoom out, this is honestly just like one of the world's longest consolidation periods. There's no direct sign that this is going up or down. I mean, it could easily go down to 29, 30K, as it easily could go to 69, 70K. And until there's sort of volume or momentum to either the upside or the downside, we really don't know at this point. But the bottom line here is that if you're looking at Bitcoin as a guide or as a measurement, and also including the inflation data that came out today, including stocks, and how everything is negatively correlated to this, that's just something that you want to keep in mind. Again, so Bitcoin is going to be sort of the first sign of life before all that money sort of flows into alts once we do see a reversal. So that'll be your sign for what comes next. I hope this was helpful. I hope this kind of put things into perspective. If you are interested in any of these coins, be aware that if you buy it on Robinhood, Robinhood owns it. You can buy and sell and trade it there, but you don't actually own it or can withdraw it into your own private custody wallet. So just wanted to point that out. And until next time, Crypto Renegade out.